Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the deadlift setup and how you should set up for a deadlift, or at least the way I set up for it, and all the things that I've learned from listening to videos on YouTube, to reading books, to my experience of anatomy, physiology, and working with a lot of different people. Now, one of the first things, actually, I posted a video or a recording of me talking about how to set up for a 500-pound deadlift and just how to get really strong and common mistakes for beginners. And what I like to do is I like to put a lot of focus in making sure that you're tight. Tight in the stomach, you're tight in the low back, everything is very solid in the core. And when you adjust the bar, position yourself so that, again, we're going over a conventional deadlift. You want your feet to be pointing out just a little bit, alright? Some people like to be straight, but depending on the way of your setup of your hips, you're probably going to want to be coming a little out. Now when your feet are out, you're going to be able to create a little bit more torque in the hips, and you'll have a little bit more forgiveness in the hips. So I said, unless you have Olympic weightlifting shoes, and then you can keep your feet straight, and that'll be fine. But I deadlift barefoot. This is kind of how I like, or I deadlift with socks or bare feet. And the first thing to do is when you set up the bar, you want to make sure that you're externally rotated at the shoulders. You want to position yourself so your shoulders are tight, shoulder blades are back. That's kind of why I like to put my hands up here, my palms up when I set up. Something I learned from Kelly Starrett. He talked about Mark Bell and Jesse Burdick setting up for this external rotation. So that way I'm fully retracted, or as retracted as I can be. I brace my abs, bend my knees, I set myself up for the bar, then I grab the bar. From this position, I make sure I squeeze the bar tight and I create some stability and strength. And before I even lift, I already have a significant amount of tension, maybe 200 pounds. 150 pounds. So with this bar being about 115 pounds on the setup, if I set up and I adjust the bar for either a double overhand or a mixed grip, I'm already tight. I'm not even lifting the bar yet. It's just my back and my lats carry the weight, or already have been significantly tightened. The second thing I wanted to talk about was the position of the click. You hear this click? So now some bars don't do that as loud, but it's one of the indicators I use to teach people how to deadlift, or the clients that I train, is that click. When it gets to a certain point, you want to, some people pull the click too fast and it looks like this. Which is not so bad for a lighter weight, but for a heavier weight, when you do that click, you're going to get rounding and some flexing in the back. If you can think of a fishing rod, and you put the lure inside the water and you pull back, you're going to get this kind of whipping effect. So, for the sake of having really good form and good practice, you want to be solid and tight. Typically with a heavier weight, you're going to create some tension already. So, come in, set your grip, tight, and the bar is already floating off the ground. Then you sit your butt back and come up. And what I like to do, most of the time for people, is that when they set themselves up, they brace their abs, external rotation of the shoulders, come down, adjust the bar, set your position, squeeze, protract the shoulders, drop your butt a little bit, and come up. And not have that click like that. I want to see a position where people are tight from the very beginning. So they set up, tight, butt's tight, core is tight, lean down, get positioned, squeeze the bar, have some tension, then lift. And that's kind of what I like to do for at least teaching some of the basics of how to deadlift and how to set up appropriately.